Hey, everybody, welcome to the Tesla Life, episode 9. That's a 9. That's not a 5. That's just the way the font looks. It's really a 9. That's 9, not 5. Okay, it's...
You had me fooled.
I know. It's a confusing font. We love the way it looks in the word Tesla. Anything else?
Not so good.
Not so good. So, hey, welcome. We took last week off, and we are so glad to be back this week. As usual, the usual bunch of Tesla news hounds. I'm going to use that word. News hounds. First and foremost, Mr. Mark Coughlin.
Hello, everybody. Just back from a break and just raring to get and talk about news. Boy, do we got news this week. It's just loaded on.
And, of course, next to him, one of my favorite Tesla fanatics. Oh, that's not really a fair way to say. We could say, I don't know. I'll figure something out. Let's just call him Tony Schaefer.
Yeah, I got nothing, including don't have a Tesla. So
Gas guzzler. What is that?
He's got a great tagline, though.
Gas guzzler. You kids in your lower thirds.
Yes, I have a gas guzzling Prius, and yeah.
Thank you, terrorist. Okay, hey, I do need to also shout out. Definitely. Let me turn this up for a second. A happy birthday to this man, Lee Moon.
No way!
Did and gave us our theme music. Very happy birthday, Lee.
Yes,
Lee. So thank you for that.
All right.
Okay, now we can pan that down, or pot that down. Excuse me. I'm mixing up my terms here. And we can do a show. I think the first two news items go to Mark, and then I'm going to ramble for the rest. So, Mark, take it away, please.
Wow. Okay. So
is that not the intro? What intro would you like?
That works. That works. Okay. No problem there.
Thank you.
Just hot off the press, really. There was an announcement that the Tesla Model 3 configurator that's going to be used, to build your Model 3. They have announced that it will be launched this July. So now we're going to have the ability to build them and see the pricing finally for the options that they are going to provide. Now, Mr. Musk has already said that the amount of options are going to be low. So they are going to keep it at a low amount in order to keep the simplicity there so that they can ramp up production and speed these cars out of the factory, hopefully without issues. But interesting that he has come and indicated that unlike previous launches where the configurator was available a few weeks before the launch, this is going to be in tandem with the launch of the car. So along with their event, this software product or website will be available for us to take a look at about the same time. So the suspense is building. Everyone is now into the home stretch where we can see what this car is going to have and what options we are going to be able to buy or not buy by the end of July. So very exciting news that we're in the home stretch. So for all those who have been waiting forever, it seems, the end is now in sight.
But it's all about the journey, Mark. It's all about the journey.
Isn't it? We don't want the journey. We're done with the journey. We've had enough of the long journey.
We've waited for 2 years now. Can we please get on with it?
That's right.
Is there now? And I don't mean anything bad by this. But there's no surprises here. This is pretty much what we expected. A simplified version of the. Is it configurator? Configurator of
Probably.
the website that crafts your order. We figured there would be limited options, or at least hypothesized there would be limited options. They would keep it simple to make so the factory could get up and running without a lot of complex stuff.
Exactly. And Musk has actually said that he feels that he made a mistake with the Model X, with the number of options that they put in that car, the number of different abilities that car could do. It gave them a lot of trouble. and there were certainly significant delays with the pushing out of that car for many factors, and he wanted to correct that. And of course, everybody else wants that to be corrected as well. Now, there is, there are some people that are going to be a little bit upset because although the car is being given to employees of Tesla and SpaceX first, the people that are close behind that, people that own Teslas currently, a lot of them want some of those options, the all-wheel drive, or they want larger batteries, or there are things that some people are hoping to get. And it sounds from this announcement that they may have to wait a little bit longer because just the standard lower option models are going to be leaving the factory at first.
Okay, so let me ask this real quick. Somebody bought a $80,000 Model S, and then they bought a $115,000 Model X, and then they miraculously expect a $40,000 Model 3 to have all the same bells and whistles of their Model X. Is that realistic? Does anybody actually hold to that logic?
That is the Tesla life, Tony.
Oh, all right. I'm done. I'm out. See you.
Mic drop. Thank you. Boom. Tony, you're reading my mind, because that's exactly where I was going. In that, in some ways, there's only a way for Tesla to kind of go down on this, because people have certain expectations about what a Tesla vehicle is. And they have, in some cases, they own a Tesla, and they're going to be looking at this car perhaps out of context. Not enough options. There's just one little display in the middle of the dash, and blah, blah, and as much as I think there's potential for it to amaze and inspire awe in people because of what it can do for the price, I think there's a lot of potential for it to disappoint and kind of just, meh to people who are thinking, I'm finally going to get a Tesla for $35,000.
Right.
That's absolutely true. Yeah.
But that is so, and we know that is just so wrong. That is the absolute worst way to think of it.
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree. I'm not pushing that as a personal ideology. I'm just saying I can see this potential, and it sucks because it's in some ways it's one of those no win for losing things.
Yeah, well, like we have known for quite some time, the expectations of this car are sky high, on all fronts. It's something that people have been waiting for beyond 2 years.
Yeah,
many people have been saying, if it wasn't for the price tag, that I would definitely want a Tesla as my first EV. And now there is a new group of people that can get in at that price tag. It's, certainly not quite affordable for most people, but it certainly is something that they've improved upon the price. And now the people that are in that bracket want the same thing that they've been watching for years previously. So yeah, there's huge expectations of this car are sitting in people's minds.
Mm-hmm. I just think that it just boggles my mind. Just to think that people could get the Model 3 and be disappointed by the features. I mean, we know it's going to look amazing. It's that simple, sexy, sleek style that Tesla has.
No more S words.
Say that 5 times fast.
I already got to say it once.
I was just waiting for you to work in Slytherin somehow.
We know it's going to have more than 200 miles of range, and we know it's going to have that center display, which is going to be radical in its own way. And yeah, I mean, it's a Tesla, and it's going to have good features, and it's fit and finish is what I was going to say. And you don't have to pump or buy gas anymore. You don't have to change out spark plugs or change the oil or, all of that crap. I just have a hard time wrapping my head around somebody complaining is all I'm getting at.
I totally see that as well.
But there will be complaints.
And I will be
I've
there
already seen.
when they want
I've already seen the complaints.
Yeah, when they want to dump their car, I will be waiting
Yeah,
You
right.
hate your car?
Absolutely.
I'll give you 10,000
Yep.
less than you paid for it, just to take it off your hands.
Yeah, he will change his gas guzzler to here's my email address and just send me the note and I'll come pick it up.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. No, I've already seen complaints about the Model 3 interior. It's too stark. Just that one control surface is in touch only. That, you know what I mean? I've already seen those kind of things. And honestly, again, in a vehicle that is cutting in nearly in half the price of the next cheapest vehicle this company makes. Okay. This is an intentionally an economical vehicle.
Yeah.
There's no more important factor about this vehicle than it's cheaper than everything else they make. Is that fair?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
What a surprise. It's not going to have all the spiffy stuff that S and X have.
Right. Yeah.
And shame on those people for thinking that.
Yeah. Where's the air controlled suspension? What do you mean it's going to have coil springs? That's crazy.
What car these days has coil springs? That's. Oh wait, hold on.
What's the 0 to 60 time? Are you kidding me? I mean,
what? No ludicrous out of the gate? None?
Yeah.
It's amazing, but it is a product of the hype machine that has been running for years. Would you not agree?
Okay.
And the unrealistic expectations that it creates. Yeah.
I think, one of the things, and this is going down a big rat hole, but I mean, I think one of the things the American consumer has developed over the last 3 decades has been this sense of entitlement, this sense of superiority, that whole the customer is always right thing that supposedly is so true, is such a basic truth to life, when in fact we know, quite frankly, a lot of times customers aren't that right. They don't know
Customers are out of their mind.
Yeah. And sometimes you have to lead them, and sometimes you do have to listen to them. I mean, I'm not saying it's always, car companies that have been resistant to EVs for years have said, well, where's the demand? Where's the demand? Yet everybody that makes an EV somehow seems to sell them, just apparently not profitably enough for the companies that say there's no demand for them. So, again, sometimes the consumer's right, and sometimes just shut up. Honestly,
I don't think I've seen that press release yet, but yeah, I understand.
Just shut up. That's coming.
Just shut up.
That's coming.
Yeah.
Consumer, shut up.
Yeah, exactly. Elon Musk to everyone. Just shut the fuck up, okay? It's a nice car. It's $35,000. What do you want?
It's going to be awesome when it hits the streets. We know it.
Absolutely.
It is. It will be awesome, and the countdown is upon us. We are getting real close now. So those who are waiting just a little bit longer, just a little.
Yeah.
Just look at that clock. Oh, sorry.
Don't look at the clock. It's confusing.
Don't look at the clock. Don't.
I have no idea what time it is.
Well, move on to our next story. Again, it centers around our favorite auto owner, Elon Musk, who has basically come across some issues with the factory workers. There's been a few stories of people getting injured on the job at Fremont. And what has happened is it's kind of grown. More and more people are talking about it. News stories are picking up some of this. And Elon decided to wade into it and basically make the proclamation that he is personally going to perform the jobs or tasks to make sure that it's not something that can injure people. So he's going, when a case is brought up, he wants it brought to him directly, and he will perform the task to make sure that in his mind that everything is on the up and up for the task, and a worker should not be able to injure themselves with the task, or it's not in a position where a worker would get injured because the task is not designed for a person. So he is now going to take this on his own, which he does a lot of, and he is going to do some of the investigation, he said, on every one of the injuries that happens. So talk about taking the bull by the horns. He's going to be on the factory floor and making sure that his workers are not in a position to be injured. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think...
Crickets.
Yeah, well, I was one of the I was
wish I could
reading
make the cricket noise.
I was reading what Russell had put up, but you know, one of the things, and you know, this is me just being, you know, I don't know, devil's advocate or something, but you know, to say he's going to perform the tasks, I would then want to know, is he going to perform the tasks for 8 hours?
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, there are some things you can do once or twice and say, see, look, that's no big deal, and then you do it for 3 weeks, and now you have carpal tunnel, you know, or whatever.
I would hope, you know, that type of justification is weighed out along with the task. I would hope that it's not just as simple as, yeah, let me do it 4 times and I can put a check mark here now because I think everything's good. So I would agree, Tony. It's something that I hope is factored into this as well.
And then to be fair, if one of his robots operating in the dark breaks down, is he going to perform those tasks as well?
Well, that's if the robot gets injured. If the robot loses, you know, a bolt or two, then yeah, he'll be performing that in the dark.
Right. Okay.
If no one can see a robot, if no one can see a robot performing in the dark, is it really performing?
Oh, the old tree in the forest. Here we go.
Here we go.
Your mom thought so.
Can I? Oh,
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. He's here all week trying to deal. I'm a little disappointed in Elon.
Well,
I
how can you be disappointed with this statement?
You know what? I can be because I'm like, he's been in charge. He's in charge right now, and he's going to be in charge tomorrow. And yet, here's a statement that, like, he just doesn't really, he's not so much, even though he describes himself as a hands-on CEO, wasn't aware of what was going on. He wasn't in touch with it. So that kind of,
come on,
you know
no,
what I mean?
it's a huge corporation.
Of course it is. And he's a busy guy, and he's got
thousands
SpaceX
of
and a Boring
employees.
company. I understand that. I'm not saying Elon, part of my point is that Elon can't do everything himself, and that it's not Superman to the rescue. He doesn't have to throw on a cape. What he needs to do is take it seriously, take it to heart, and he has to do something concrete. He has to take some action to concretely address the issue. Not just say, I'm going to handle it personally. What are you going to stop watching, you know, SpaceX launches?
Yeah,
stop going to tunnel boring things, you know? I mean,
but also keep in mind that this is the guy that when they were having issues with the fit and feel of the cars leaving the assembly line, this is the guy that as a CEO went down to the finishing room and he personally inspected the cars as they were leaving to reassure that the cars had the right fit and finish as they left. He even brought a sleeping bag and would sleep there overnight so he could get some of this stuff done. So I don't know. I think that's is that just PR, or is that someone that has decided that they're taking initiative and they're going to try to figure out what's wrong because they feel that they have the best chance of making it right?
I think it's PR, because I think that if you really wanted everything to be as good as possible, especially, let's say, the safety, you have people who are the safety people in the factory. You have line managers, you have shift managers. And if someone is complaining that a job is too difficult, or they get hurt, or it's ergonomically incorrect, Elon is far too expensive to go work a shift in the line. You grab the line manager and say, work this shift and you'll see what it's like. Or you take the safety inspector and say, you are going to work this shift and you are going to make sure that it's a safe work environment. Elon, it would be the most expensive line shift worker ever if he started doing this. And he couldn't possibly get to every place in a decent amount of time. And like Russell said, it's taking away from all the other stuff he's expected to do with his other companies. He really does have these obligations to go do things, even if it's sucking up to investors he's expected to do that, not
Damn
put on some
investors.
overalls and work on the shift.
Right. With the little OSHA, orange safety inspector vest. Just like, I just, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying he's not sincere or anything. Maybe is, maybe isn't. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that if as the person who runs this company, number one, he's responsible for what it is, and shame on him for not knowing before and heading this problem off proactively rather than reacting to a spate of bad newspaper articles, which is what this is about. It wasn't a problem until it was in the newspapers. Then it was a problem.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah.
So I'm if he wants to be serious, I'm going to hire 50 year-long safety inspectors to make sure all of these jobs, they're going to report to me. I'm going to review these things. That would sound more serious to me than I'm going to handle this. You know what I mean? Yeah. And again, maybe that's part of his plan. He hasn't said that though.
Yeah.
He just.
I also have to wonder if some of it could be a reporting issue. If people in the factories,
of course,
thought they were taking care of it, and they didn't escalate it, and so maybe there's that angle. Maybe Elon actually thought everything was rainbows and lollipops.
It could have been stopped at middle management. Absolutely. Everything
isn't rainbows and lollipops.
There's unicorns.
Yay! As long as there's unicorns, that's all. I'm happy. Okay. I don't want to beat up Elon. I think this is a serious issue though, and the publicity that they took obviously had an impact. And I would like to see a serious response that wasn't crafted for theatrical reasons or for PR reasons. It was crafted to keep the people who work for him safer. Bottom line.
Right.
Agreed.
Am I supposed to talk now?
I think so.
And I think you're up.
I'm so sorry. Hey, Tesla stock hit another all-time high this week. And guess what? They're finally in the Fortune 500.
And I still own 0 shares.
And you still own 0 shares. Mark, definition of a loser. 30 seconds.
Someone who knew Tesla stock would go up and yet still didn't buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who had the money and said no.
I'm not going to buy the stock. I'm going to buy the car.
There you go.
It's a better long-term investment.
I think our own Evan Fusco has commented on that several times about how he would rather have the stock than the car.
Than the car, yeah. Yeah. And oddly enough, vice versa, I hear from people that own the stock that they don't really care about owning the car. They're very happy with the stock. So weird how that works. But anyway, so seriously, this is in some ways it changes nothing, and in some ways it's a big deal because it's again another sort of coming of age for Tesla, and any company that's going to mature. Say what you want about market capitalization versus sales or whatever. Say what you want about market penetration. They're still obviously an important and super influential company, and so this merits mentioning.
Yeah, it's interesting that, and it's the stock is going like this. So we've got this constant up, and
is that up? That's up. Okay, good. Because I thought maybe that was Canadian. And it was down.
It was sort of
up is good. Up is good. Canadian.
Sure.
I lost.
So it's interesting to see that this stock has been on a roller coaster in the past, but for the past, I would say, year and a bit, it's just been on an upward trajectory. So now it's sitting at its highest level ever. And it's leading into the Model 3 release. So I even see that it's still got room to go if the release is successful. It would not be a stretch to see it continue to climb. So investors are quite happy at this point who are in the stock, and of course people that have shorted it are a lot less happy at this point.
Yeah, that's a big group of unhappy folk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, so just a little look at the stock. I'm sorry, Tony. Go ahead and talk. I'll just. Be
Yeah,
quiet.
I was going to say, just speaking of the shorting, there is always an article at least once a week. Get out now. It's going to crash. It's about to end. Yeah.
Yeah, so that as Russell flips through, there's the year viewpoint showing, a little bit of a roller coaster at the start, a little bit of flatlining, and then about halfway through the year, boom.
But since December 1st, the stock is, with one dip, it's definitely on an upward trend. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then show the 3 month and 1 month, even more dramatic. And the 1 month is crazy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So 5 days.
5 days. Yeah. I mean, this, the growth of where they've come from back in 2010 to now, that's impressive.
Yep.
And we're talking 2010 to now. We're not talking about 1890.
Must build time machine. Okay, I got that on my to-do list.
You may want to move that up to number 1 because that would me replace other items.
I gotta clean the garage, so I'll get to the time machine when I'm done with the garage.
Just get to the time machine. The time machine fixes everything, dude.
Yeah, once you get there, you're golden. Yes.
Yeah, you have to watch Doctor Who to know that. Time machine first. Everything else is simple.
It's just timey-wimey at that point.
Well, speaking of building things that aren't simple, another thing that came up this week, Tesla is currently working on 3 new factories. They're going to build a new one for Model Y, and they're talking about 10 to 20 gigafactories worldwide total. So maybe we can just call them factories from now on. No more gigafactories. We can just accept that the Tesla factory is big. How's that?
That's not going to fly. Okay. Sorry, that doesn't make the PR.
Is it better? Is it
because it's not like gotta say gigafactory because it's Tesla branded, right? As soon as you say gigafactory, it's Tesla. You don't have to say anything more.
Ford isn't making anything for them.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe. Yeah. Okay.
I don't think they're going to drop the term ever.
It kind of makes me sad. Hey, do we know what we don't even have? And I have to look really quick here. There was something that broke today.
Yes, there was. Actually, just recently, of course, the shareholder meeting happened. A quarterly shareholder meeting happened, and Tesla, of course, Elon announced a picture of
yes, indeed,
the next car that they will be releasing.
Baby got back.
Drumline.
Unfortunately, it's missing the bottom half of the car and will have no wheels. But it still has a great shape.
It's a hover car.
It floats on a cloud of black smoke. That's the whole point to it.
Yes.
You're like the Wicked Witch of the West. Wherever you go.
I don't even see any seams for the hood there. So this is a really wacky car, but it is the Model Y, the first publicly released teaser image of the Model Y, which of course will be the smaller SUV style vehicle.
Is that at one point weren't they talking about the Y possibly being a roadster or convertible of some kind?
I don't think the Y was going to be a roadster convertible. There certainly was talk of doing, and there still is, of doing another roadster, a second edition of the roadster. But I believe that ever since the 3 was put pen to paper, that the Y was going to be, a little bit different, a little higher, a little SUV type style, as far as I remember. I could be wrong, and of course our listeners will let us know. But
I'm on it right now.
I don't believe it was a roadster that was the Y.
They're already telling us we suck. Hey.
We don't look at reviews, by the way, so it doesn't really matter what you say.
I do. I'm sorry. My ego's that fragile. I'll admit it.
All right.
Don't hurt my feelings, for God's sakes.
Wait, somebody bring this up.
He's got something.
You got something, Tony?
Yeah. Image, new tab. Okay, let me do a screen share.
Don't share us the portal by mistake.
Oh, no, I'm doing that on purpose.
Oh, good point. Yeah, exactly. I was waiting for this picture.
Yes, this is the one. It got this was from
When
let
was
me
that?
switch over. Inside EVs, and this was 3 years
3
ago.
years ago.
3 years ago, the Model Y was done as a convertible. And I said roadster. Basically, I was thinking like 2 seats. I was kind of thinking that way. But
That's clearly 4
yeah.
seats.
yeah, I think that one is. But there it is. I mean, that was the
That's
3
interesting.
years ago original
No,
draw.
I did not think that was the case at all. Kudos to you, Tony.
Woohoo! I got something right.
Go, Tony.
Today was my day.
I know.
It's almost like he had baited us. He had the thing ready to go and everything.
I am almost. Tony, did you steer? No. You sly dog, you.
Right. I wish I was smart enough to do that.
So that announcement of the Model Y was just made the other day. The teaser shot.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Elon can't stop with just one thing at a shareholders meeting. He's got to keep the machine fed and fed well. So he moved on to, of course, the Semi, talking about how it's going to be unveiled in September of this year, and added some fuel to the fire already, and said that not only has Tesla got a working prototype, but they've also been in consultation with industry leaders in trucking. So a lot of the build of the Semi has been ideas and information that has come from the transportation industry as well. So they believe that they have, with these consultations, have a truck that is ready to sell. So again, September is going to be very interesting as well. And another item that came, he also mentioned, just as a passing point.
Stop! No.
Does this guy ever shut up?
No, not you. Just, there's more.
There is no stop with Elon. There is no stop button.
But wait, there's more.
And he said that with kind of a passing interest, that he believes that airplanes will soon be something that they can tackle as well, with energy density being picked up into batteries and how they're able to store more and produce more power. That he believes that planes are another, like he's not working in enough things now. He's now opened it up to airplanes as well. Mm-hmm. So unbelievable, really. And again, it's this every time that Elon comes out with something, or he's going to announce something, it almost like he puts a factor of 3 on it, and it's like, boom! I am shooting way above what you think is going to be happening. When the first Gigafactory was announced and they were talking about building it, he was already mentioning that there was going to be 2, 3, and 4 Gigafactories. So it's just shocking that the amount of that he keeps feeding these press conferences.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's very, very good. There's no question about that. I mean, that's definitely one of his CEO strong points, right?
Yeah.
If you have other CEOs that are complete idiots and can't talk, have no face to the public. I shouldn't even say complete idiots. They might be geniuses, but they have no gift at all for communicating.
No, this guy's a showman. There is no doubt that he is someone that can talk to the people at any point, and a lot of us are just mesmerized listening to this stuff that's coming out of his mouth. Like it's exactly deer in the headlight, drooling. Yes, it's amazing the stuff that you think you got him pinned down, and all of a sudden he comes out with a grandiose dream beyond what you were even thinking.
And the $1 million I'm going to give each and every one of you, it's wrapped in $2 million.
There you go. Yeah. He's upping the ante at every turn.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get it. He is, and I mean this in the best way. He is the reincarnation of Barnum. You know what I mean? Like, he's got people on the edge of their seats. I'm one of them. I want some of his products. I would really have loved to have been a fly on the wall for some of those semi-talk distribution conversations they had. I'm just wondering like how Elon's selling it, and I'm willing to bet that part of it is okay. You can get rid of all those truck drivers you pay $150,000 a year to. You can replace them with 12-year-olds who play Halo 5. Okay,
from their basement.
Right, exactly. It's like you put them in a daycare center, it's not a problem. Okay, you know, like all of a sudden, I wonder like what the pitch is. You know, if the I'm sure.
You know, autonomous is part of the pitch and a big part of the pitch. Absolutely,
this truck's going to run 24 hours a day.
You know, when Elon comes back with a comment, when there was that hubbub about, you know what, the Model 3 is not going to have a center speedometer. You're not going to be able to see. You'll have to look over at the center screen as opposed to where you would see it in a traditional car. And he comes back with, well, nobody wants to look at the screen when their car's autonomous. You know, so he just came back with, you know, you really don't know what you want because I am pointing you in another direction immediately. Your Model 3 will drive itself. Why do you even want to look at the screen? You want to do whatever you're doing and ignore the driving and let the car do it for you.
Yeah.
Yes, I absolutely.
So interesting stuff as it moves along. But for all of us, I guess the closest event will be the July event, and then September after it. And then who knows what the next announcement will be.
There's that.
Like Russell says, $1 million in $2 million wrappers.
Right. Like, wrapped in diamonds from Jupiter, surrounded by emeralds from Saturn. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, Elon.
I'm pretty sure right now he is retrofitting his boring machine to run on battery. He's not even really going to do anything with the tunnel. He just wants to dig tunnels.
Just for fun. just to get out of the office is what he's looking for.
Yeah.
And then
that's one of those.
Funny you mentioned that, Tony. There was another announcement, and I don't have the photo on me right now, but there was a release of the new tunnel caddy machine where people, you know, go inside it. It's not the car caddy, but the people caddy where they sit inside.
I saw that as well.
So that was released in the last 2 days as well. So
people caddy.
Yeah,
it's a brand new brain. It's a brand new concept. It's brand new. They certainly never thought of this in the 1800s. I promise.
I'm sorry,
you.
Tony. I totally stepped on you there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's a good joke. One of us had to make it.
Jesus God,
it's a people caddy or a carriage, and then they called it in the 1800s.
Right. Yeah. Or Disney in the 50s. It's a people mover. Okay. Move, you people.
Yeah.
It could be It could be me with a stick. You know, just move.
The people stand stiller is just boring. So has to be people mover.
Right.
Speaking of getting hit with a stick, and this brings us to the last story of the evening. You know, there are a few things associated with the automobile industry that aren't, and I have to say this carefully, tainted somehow. You know what I mean? That we're not distrustful of. I mean, the one of the synonyms for a distrustful person is like used car salesman, right? Everybody says it. And I'm sure that the new car salespeople probably get off a little bit better, but maybe not much. And I'm not going to argue whether or not that's appropriate, but there are a few things associated with vehicles that have long records and are pretty well, not perfect, but are pretty well trusted. You know, certainly Consumer Reports has always been a well-respected source for information that is as objective as humanly possible, or at least so it seems. And, you know, another one of those companies is AAA, the American Automobile Association. You know, that more than a century-old group of motorists banding together for mutual benefit, you know, which now is, of course, insurance and God knows everything else. Well, interestingly enough, AAA announced this week that they're raising their rates on Tesla On Tesla insurance, 30%.
Yikes.
30%. Now, this is AAA started, the genesis of this was they were looking through their own data on Model S and Model X owners, and they were looking at pretty abnormally high claim numbers. I have to scooch down here. Model S is involved in 46% more claims than average vehicles. Than vehicles average at that price. I'm sorry. And the claims cost twice as much as that average. Model X owners, similar, except the repairs cost even more, 89% more than the average claim for a similarly priced vehicle. And there's more claims on these cars. So AAA is raising their rates.
Now, that's kind of counterintuitive to what they were saying, is that the Teslas are safer and there's less accidents and the rates are going to come down, right?
Well, who is saying this?
Maybe, I don't know, someone we know, Elon, possibly?
Yeah, I feel sure that it wasn't an insurance company promising to reduce rates. I feel they don't have a big history of that. And look, I don't have to polish AAA's doorknobs here or anything. Whatever you may think of them, they're generally not considered a real radical company. They're fairly conservative. So to do this, they obviously feel like that there's some legitimacy to it. They Tesla immediately, of course, jumped on it and said, oh, AAA is crazy. This isn't right. AAA cross-investigated all of these claims with the Highway Loss Data Institute. I have no idea what that is. HLDI, I've never heard of it. But their data backed up AAA's. Obviously, AAA, maybe AAA's, this is a thinly veiled ploy just to raise rates on people who they figure can afford it.
That's interesting.
Maybe it is. I don't know. I'll give you the other side of it is, and I mean, I'll give you a great example of this. A lot of people new to money go out and they buy that new Rolex and they're really happy with that new Rolex. And I'm here to tell you, after a few years, that Rolex starts running slower and they send it back to Rolex for service. And Rolex says, our basic service starts at $700. Thank you. And they go, for a watch? Well, Gomer, you bought the $8,000 watch. So guess what? $700 every 5 to 10 years is probably what you're going to pay. And, maybe AAA is just taking advantage of an upper demo customer.
AAA went all Uber on their ass.
Oh,
Tony's got them lined up. Boom.
Man. Are you writing that down?
That is certainly not outside the realm of possibility, is it? With anybody. So that is something that could be happening. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the show title, Tony. There's enough link bait in there that I think that.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, if you could just work Apple in there somehow, it would have been perfect.
Right. All right, next time.
Yeah, no, that's right. No, and again, the other side of it is, what a surprise that parts for these cars are more expensive. What a surprise. I'm surprised that there are more claims. I suspect, obviously we know these cars are safe. We've heard that over and over again. It seems to be that these cars are very safe. That doesn't mean they're cheap to operate.
Nor repair.
Nor repair.
Yeah, especially repair.
You run into a pole, it probably costs a good amount of money to get it fixed. And welcome to owning an expensive vehicle, sir or madam.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And if you didn't buy the pole avoidance package,
well, shame on you. First of all.
Yeah, you stepped right into that one.
Yes. Yeah.
I always get the pole avoidance package.
You just see explaining that to the insurance. Oh, I didn't buy the pole avoidance. I got the sidewalk avoidance and I got the pedestrian avoidance, but I didn't think of the pole avoidance. So no, I didn't get that part. Yeah. And of course I wrapped it around a pole. So
right. Avoiding the pedestrian.
Avoiding, yeah. I didn't hit anybody. Come on, don't I get a bonus for that?
Yes, your repair bill is triple.
Yeah.
Bonus.
Yeah. And it's going to take another 6 weeks. That's okay. We got your rental car. That adds to the cost.
That's right.
There's no surprises here for me. There's no other than AAA is the only one to announce it. And again, I think it's to AAA's credit. that this isn't like some secret thing that like, okay, hey, here's what we're
Mhm.
doing and here's why. And we looked at these figures, you know what I mean? So even if it is bogus, at least they handled it well.
Yeah, at least they came out and they said it. Well,
the shareholders are quite happy. Yes.
Oh yeah.
yeah. You know, I will say, you know, at least they came out and they said it, and when challenged, they produced the data. They made it very clear as to why. I think they handled it.
Yeah.
Handled it as well as they could. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't, you know, it's not I don't trust anyone really. I'm sorry. But, you know, so obviously this could be just a reasonable response to data of increased costs, or it could be it could be a nearly perfect cover for a way to raise rates on people who can afford it. Maybe there's another option too. Maybe Elon just pissed off the CEO of AAA, you know? Asshole.
Well, you know that Tesla, of course, has started to talk about doing their own insurance in other countries.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there is a play that they're saying that if the insurance is not going to play ball based on what we believe our cars, the safety factor in reducing rates is we're going to open up insurance ourselves, Tesla insurance.
You want to see Tesla maintenance, Tesla service really get efficient? Have Tesla paying the bills for Tesla service.
Right. Yeah.
There's going to be some efficiency programs in there quick.
Yeah, so
Right.
they're performing this already. I believe it's Asia that they've got this started, and there is talk about moving it to other countries.
Interesting.
I always remember the story of World War II. There were people that were like, you know, in the factory lines of people packing parachutes for the soldiers, and an unacceptable percentage of the parachutes wouldn't open correctly. And what they did to fix it was that they would randomly pull parachutes from the line, and they would grab the person that packed it, put them in an airplane, and throw them out.
That would change morale about packing a parachute, wouldn't it?
Yeah. You know, they were nicer about it. You know, they didn't just throw them out, but they implemented the process where the packers had to throw on a parachute that was chosen at random and jump out of the airplane. And as you can imagine,
of 6, you bastard! Don't push me out of this plane.
Well, you better hope you packed it well. Bye.
Gee, thanks.
So yeah, but that's true, Russell. To your point, you know, you want to make sure that
Sure.
these things don't break. You do your own maintenance. I mean, Harley Davidson used to have really bad, you know, freshly leaked oil, and I mean, they were notorious for this.
Notorious is a good word.
Yes. And then, you know, once they fixed this, they became, everything improved. So yeah, you know, rub their nose in it and it'll get better.
And just before we get to the end, I thought I'd share this. I did find the people caddy.
Oh boy. The subway?
The people caddy.
Or as they call it, the electric skate concept.
Oh my God.
What the hell?
So it's not a carriage. It's not a caddy. It is an electric skate.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. Yeah, it's a skate. It's a butt skate, is what it is.
What it doesn't show is the people being tossed around in there because the thing's going 160 kilometers an hour.
Whoa!
They're all just standing up.
They're all standing there quite nicely, but as soon as that thing rapids up to 160 miles an hour.
In ludicrous mode.
Fingers will be plastered on the back.
Yeah, I just
look at that guy holding the bike. He's just in the open. He doesn't even care.
Yeah, whatever. It's all good, man. Me and my bike are going to be hurtling across his cabin at 110 miles an hour, splattering into the back window.
I hope they add some handrails somewhere in that skate,
or doors for that matter.
Each caddy has its own gravity.
There you go.
Oh,
there's a solution for it all.
Elon has mastered gravity, and each caddy has its own gravity source, so they're fine in there. They're having a drink. Everything's good.
Don't call him a caddy. It's a skate.
It's a skate.
Sorry, in the skate. Okay, I think on that note, I'm going to kick it back to Tony for his shout-outs before we go home.
Oh, geez. I have absolutely no shout outs. So that was easy.
Wow, Tony, that's
So I'll start with.
thank you. That was disturbingly quick.
If you have interest in following us with more information, come to our Twitter feed at The Tesla Life. Sign up for it today. Also, our Facebook is The Tesla Life #1. #1 at the facebook.com. So please follow us there. And that's pretty well it. Until next week.
That's it.
Now pushing it over to Russell.
Well, I don't have any shout outs other than, me and some of these other guys do another show that records live on Wednesday nights at 9:00, which if you're interested in other advanced tech cars, you can watch. It's called What Drives Us, or not. That's fine. We do the Tesla show because we love Tesla and we wanted to talk to you. So there you go. I want to once again say happy birthday to Lee Moon, our music composer. And thank him for being such a supporter of the show, and thank Tony and Mark and me, because I deserve thanks too.
Okay. I'll thank you, Russell. Thank you, Russell.
Thanks, Russell.
Thank you, Mark and Tony. We've suddenly become a very polite and I don't know. I was going to say gratuitous show, but
gratuitous. Wow,
that's sort of the wrong use of that word. I think maybe I have to go back to high school. Anyway, next week, again, as Mark said, you know where to find us. Tune in next week and find out more about the Tesla Life.